I don't know, can anyone relate to this? Like, does anyone think that everything is bullshit? Like, I literally believe in nothing.
This one clip describes Sneako's entire online career. He went from not believing in true love.
That's because falling in love is some shit people made up because we got bored.
To being cucked by the love of his life, advocating for everyone to do the same.
I'm like feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test.
No!
You know what? I think
This has permanently stunted him into hating women, becoming Andrew Tate's greatest warrior.
I'm trying to be that. I want to be the top G one day.
Go, young man. If I disappear, I'm passing the torch to you. Keep spreading the message while it's still relevant.
He preaches about equality while at the same time preaching that the biggest problem in the West is that women can vote.
You see white identity as more important than your faith. You only see white people as your brothers. There's no race that's superior to another race. I'm tired of the fake news lies. I'm tired of feminism. These women don't make any sense anymore. The fact that there's even a conversation between Trump and Kamala is because women can vote.
He defends Andrew Tate from his trafficking allegations where he would lie and tell women he was going to marry them to get them to move to Romania and then locking them in a house, making them do OnlyFans. He'd have his bottom bitch beat him.
Started the stream by saying free Tate, that they are falsely in prison. It's ridiculous that they've been jailed for this long. They keep trying to find charges and not really hardcore evidence of anything.
Sneako justifies this by saying that women are gold diggers and that's somehow the same thing to him.
There's a lover boy method. Then what about the lover girl method? Every girl in Miami is running the lover girl method today. Girls are running the lover girl method every single day and they never get in trouble for human trafficking. Why is that? They're putting up a lie. They're pretending that they love this guy and they don't, to extract money from them.
He spoke at an OnlyFans management event that was busted for human trafficking 1 month later. Andrew Tate recently had his second Romanian indictment brought against him. One of the main charges was trafficking a minor. And conveniently around that same time, Sneako starts arguing to lower the age of consent.
14-year-old, in your definition, could literally marry an adult. That's a problem. In your world, a 14-year-old can marry an adult.
Yeah, in my world, two 14-year-olds could be adults. I'm telling you,
Yes, he's advocating for child brides now. He cites Islam as the only way to stop Taylor Swift.
This is the result of feminism. This is the result of the infiltration. Taylor Swift is a billionaire. She's a billionaire who's maybe 35 years old. Look here. Hadith about this. When the prophet heard that the news of the people of the Persia had made the daughter of Khosrau their queen, he said, never will succeed such a nation that makes as a woman their ruler.
I last covered Sneako a year ago, and he was just starting to become a conspiracy theorist, not believing the election results or the vaccine. He thought seatbelts were a lie.
Do you think seatbelts make you safer when you drive?
You can get into a head-on collision, and if you have a seatbelt on, then you can get trapped in the car and the car can catch on fire. But sometimes if you're not wearing a seatbelt, there's instances where people have literally flown out the windshield because they weren't wearing a seatbelt and they survived. But a seatbelt could trap you in there.
What do you think is more common? Do you understand statistics or probability?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's more common.
Sneako was just starting to edge on Jewish conspiracies.
This is the problem. Like, if he's seeking the truth, Adin Ross is Jewish. It's gonna be difficult because as he gets further down that, he's gonna find himself stumbling across a lot of people that
Halfway.
He's going,
Fast forward a year later, and Sneako blames everything on the Jews. Some of them are classics like 9/11 or the Kennedy assassination.
RFK, hell yeah.
That's crazy. No.
Hell yeah.
They killed his dad and his uncle, and he's still sucking off to them? Bro. What the fuck? They killed your family!
But some of them got me scratching my head. He thinks the age of consent is bad and that the Jews are to blame for it.
California, one of the rare places it's 18. Do you know that, right? So in movies, they say it's 18. The age of consent is 18. That gets pushed everywhere, right? Hollywood dominates the world. Do you know who controls Hollywood?
Here we go.
John Cena can't even do a promotional stunt for his movie without Sneako blaming them.
Ready for him to get 10 more Hollywood movies after this?
They targeted someone who kids look up to.
Exactly. They find one of the biggest role models and they get him to do this. And then he's going to influence so many people to do the same. They got another one.
We got cucking, lies, violence, manipulation. This is how Sneako became radicalized and is radicalizing others in real time.
Jews were being genocided and shit. I wouldn't be here right now.
It was mostly a work camp. And it was the first time Jews had to do physical labor, and so they just complained so much and created Israel. It was mostly working.
This is a video that documents just how little common sense some people have, so sit down, buckle up, and prepare for uncharted waters. with the Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that helps fill the void that ditching bad habits can leave behind. I've been using Fume for about a year now, and it's awesome. It's basically an adult fidget toy. You got this magnetic stand, give it a flick, twist it to adjust the airflow, and if you want a little stimulant of flavor, that's the good stuff. And there's no nicotine, no vapor, no batteries. Fume is just flavored air coming from one of its many flavored cores. As you can see, I work a desk job. I'm constantly tempted to go grab another snack or another cup of coffee when it's completely unnecessary. So being able to play with something to taste something, it really does help me stay focused and drop those bad habits. Crisp Mint is my favorite. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be their next success story. They'll even throw in a free topper. So to tryfume.com and use code WillyMac or scan the QR code on screen to get your free topper when you order the Journey Pack today. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this video.
I'm a cock, and I hope he fucks her good in a way I wish I could.
Sneako lacks the ability to think for himself. His former point of view was just to disagree with whatever the mainstream media says because they must be wrong, always.
When it comes to wearing masks, how do you know if that's a good idea or not?
Because if people more powerful than me are telling me to do it, I instantly don't believe them.
This led to him becoming a flat earther.
If the earth is round, why are there so many flat points? Why is every time you look, it's completely flat for miles and miles and miles? That doesn't make sense.
That's a good question.
Sneako stopped believing that Hitler was a Nazi. The leader of the Nazi party was no longer a Nazi to Sneako.
Kanye was joking when he said that he liked Hitler, though.
No, he's being truthful. But he was saying something provocative on purpose. The overall idea, see, people say like, oh, look, he's a Nazi. No, he's not. He's black. Yeah, he's not a Nazi. That's the point.
Okay. Yeah, but you said he can't be a Nazi because he's black.
Okay, but he's not a Nazi.
Oh, but not because he's
he's black.
Just for other reasons.
Well, you also can't be a true Nazi. You have to be blonde hair, blue-eyed. Even Hitler wasn't a true Nazi.
Or like a neo-Nazi, I suppose. Yeah.
I feel like if that's how you're defining Nazi becomes a useless statement. Because if we can't even call the leader of the Nazi movement a Nazi, then
by his own definition, he wasn't part of the master race, so.
Yeah, and then nobody's a Nazi, so it doesn't seem like that's a good definition of Nazi.
Owned by a woman? Cringe? He's so against mainstream norms that he doesn't believe that Hitler was evil.
Was Hitler evil?
Do you see what you're doing? You want me to agree with the specific narrative so bad.
Sneako needs to ask for the definition of evil. Sneako then agrees that Hitler meets that definition, but he still won't say it.
What is your criteria of evil?
Profoundly immoral, and wicked.
Yeah, I think he did. He did commit some wicked behavior, of course.
So is he evil?
I don't want to say the same thing that you're saying, man. I don't want to go and I'm not going to partake in this group thing. I'm not going to go and do this.
Imagine being mentally finessed by Adin Ross. This guy eats his own boogers.
He's a booger eating kind of guy.
So instead of believing public educators and documentation, Sneako decided to follow the path of Nick Fuentes. If you don't know, Nick Fuentes is a self-described white supremacist.
What we need to defend as a concept is European supremacy.
He hates race mixing. He once said that having sex with a dog was similar to having sex with a black person.
You said that Nick is a white supremacist. I'm curious to what he said specifically that makes you think that.
Well, I did hear leaked audio of you comparing a white woman having sex with a dog to having sex with a black man and saying that it was basically the same level of degeneracy. And that was like leaked audio. So I felt like that was kind of telling about what you might say behind the scenes.
Yeah, and
maybe that was a joke?
Well, no. I mean, I can explain
It didn't sound like a joke.
And I was saying that I'm against race mixing. I think that people should marry their own kind. So that's the part that wasn't recorded, is I'm saying I'm against race mixing.
Sneako is mixed and wouldn't even exist in the theoretical America that Nick Fuentes wants to create. But like a good puppy, Sneako defends him.
These are all things which I would consider wrong.
They're both degenerate. But Sneako just hops on board.
Sneako recently went to a Nick Fuentes America First event. These events are extremely hateful.
And at the end of the day, you know what else has got to go in a Christian society? Democracy. Well, that. This is a big one. This is a big one, okay? And this is going to be the controversial one, but this is the one, this is the only one that hates Jesus in the world. Not Hinduism, not Islam, not Buddhism. But the other thing that's got to go from the public life at the highest levels is this Talmudic Judaism. America, they say, diversity is our strength, you know? And I look at China and I look at Russia. Can we give a round of applause for Russia? Yes. Absolutely.
Sneako was like, oh, it was great. I met the leader of the KKK.
Good to be in Detroit and be around all the people there for the America First movement. And, you know, I really believe in this stuff. Like, before I even get into all this, I genuinely believe in putting America first. And I believe that can only start by putting Israel last. Go and, you know, support my boy Nick Fuentes and meet all the guys out there, Lucas Gage.
Oh, I wonder who Lucas Gage is. Let me just look him up.
I'm sick and tired of these Jews. I'm a good Jew. No, you're not. There is no such thing as a good Jew. Period. End of story.
Arthur Quan Lee.
I wonder who Arthur Quan Lee is.
There are two types of Satanism represented in the culture. Those practitioners worship at the altar of the synagogue of Satan.
Literally the most hateful people alive, and Sneako's pogging out.
Met David Duke. I had like no idea. This fucking Grand Wizard of the...
Nick was giving a speech about how Jews control the world, and all these venues decided to kick them out for it.
What happened was Nick Fuentes got kicked out of every single venue. The America First event that happened, first the venue lied, and then they pushed him out, and the cops came and they locked down the door. So they had to find a last minute venue. They banned the event. It's just like absolutely disrespectful. I came all the way to Detroit. I would never go to Detroit without this event. And they shut it down because they don't believe in what he talks about. It's probably Zionists who were shutting it down. Then they had the second venue. They had it at this bar. And even then, like, they didn't like what the speech was about.
So they started screaming F you to security, who then punches Sneako's tooth out.
He's got this busted up tooth. Smile for me, man. This was the security guard at this thing, at this event right up here.
What's crazy is Sneako goes on stream afterwards and he's like, actually, these establishments were really unprofessional with how they acted.
Venue, like, you know, paid security from the venue should not be doing that under any especially under those circumstances. They didn't like what the speech was about. People were riled up. They're talking about Zionism. They're talking about Israel. And so they start playing music and they cut off the microphone. And that got me pissed off. And that they were taunting. The people that were at the venue started like dancing around and flipping everybody off.
Bro, you're having a Nazi town hall meeting. The leader of the KKK is there. He's a black security guard. You deserved it. He's shocked he got hit. He's like, oh, I can't believe none of the other Nazis stood up for me. I need my brothers here.
The mistake I made was like, a lot of these people, like, even though they're cool and I know they're from Twitter, like, they're not going to slide for me. Like, are random people who talk about Zionism on Twitter going to slide? Probably not. Like, the only people that really have your back are your family, your brothers. And I was just out there, like, with a bunch of white kids in suits. It's like, they're not going to, and when shit hits the fan, they're not going to be, like, they'll take a picture, but they're not going to be, you know, supporting me to that level.
It's because you're a brown Muslim. You are what their entire movement stands against. Nick Fuentes takes any video of a black guy doing something wrong and uses it to justify deporting all brown people.
People like Prime, he's just one of them. But we all know that's the attitude. They walk around swaggering, you know, with their arms, chest puffed out because they know they can get away with anything. What kind of country do you want to live in? The last thing I'll say. You can be a racist asshole like me and live in a country where we don't put up with that because this is America. Or you could be a good anti-racist and live in a country where that kind of nonsense is tolerated. What country do you want to live in? What do you prefer? You prefer the racist asshole society where you say, hey, pull up your fucking pants, stop yelling, put the phone off speaker.
Oh shit, I do that. And to this day, Sneako defends Nick.
Do you actually believe that he thinks people should call the FBI and say I'm reporting race mixing? Do you believe that? Or was he being facetious?
He's being exaggeratory for his hatred.
Okay, he's making a joke.
Based on how much he dislikes race mixing, Sneako, it's not just a disagreement.
Okay, well, that's not a Catholic belief. And if you look at his bio, it says Catholic, it says America first.
Sneako, can you not pick up context clues? It's like, oh, I wonder what Nick Fuentes thinks of Sneako's newfounded Muslim faith.
Charleston White is common sense. He's a real one, and he cooks Sneako on Islam, and he's right. Muslims are angry and they have pointy shoes and curved swords and they will cut off your head for being American. Everyone knows that. They sell cigarillos to black people. They have beards and they're angry. That's why they're blowing themselves up.
He believes you should love everyone. There's no hatred.
That's how mentally cucked this guy is. Sneako talks the same way as Nick when it comes to other groups. He doesn't hate them. He just thinks their existence is gross.
Thinking that being gay is bad doesn't mean you hate gays, right? If being fat is bad, I don't hate fat people. It's gross. Like
That
thinking
is-
something is gross, thinking being broke is gross or bad does not. I don't hate broke people. There's no rich people don't hate broke people. Just like straight people don't hate gays. It's just weird and disgusting. You're allowed to be disgusted by something and not hate it.
It's literally in the language you're using. If you're expressing publicly that you think something is gross and disgusting, the idea is you're being hateful towards it. You can play word games like, well, it doesn't mean you hate it, but I mean, like, it's essentially what's being expressed.
Sneako, it's why when you got punched in the face, nobody helped you. It's because they think you're gross.
But being gay is a choice. That's a decision.
Sneako's like, just choose not to be gay. It's the most closeted, self-hating shit I've ever heard. Sneako's admitted to pretending to be gay to get a cigarette, and he doesn't even like cigarettes.
Hey, like your hair. Says, cutie or whatever. I'm like, you got a cigarette? He's like, yeah, for you. I take a cigarette. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to my friends. He's like, oh, okay, bye. And I just take the cig and leave. I flirted with the, I flirted with the gay guy to get a cigarette. I don't even smoke like that.
But hey, Sneako, in Nick's all-white Christian society, you can stay. You can be the good one. Keep taking punches for Nick.
Putting my chin on the line for America first.
I come too fast. I come too fast.
Do it. Something I noticed with these guys is they almost have a Sith-like relationship. You have Nick Fuentes, who's Emperor Palpatine.
Would you want Hitler to be president or a random woman? I'm like, duh, Hitler, obviously. Say it loud, say it proud. We want Hitler for president.
Then you have his apprentice, Sneako.
I don't care about Hitler's perspective.
So it's either understand perspective or don't.
Why does it matter what Hitler's perspective is? He's a sick man. You even admitted he's a piece of shit, Sneako, right? He's evil, right?
He won't say.
I think he was a bad person. I don't know if he was evil. I haven't met the guy.
But now Sneako needs an underling, and his target is Adin Ross. Adin has been hanging around Sneako a lot. They dress up as Mario characters and carve pumpkins together. But it's very obvious that Sneako is trying to radicalize Adin. Adin has recently changed his stance on Hitler. He's now a good leader.
Also, the weird argument was the Hitler, would you rather have your wife?
Okay, I'll be real. Guys, listen. I'm Jewish. You guys know that. Hitler was a great leader. What he did was wrong. I obviously so fucked. It's for real. What he did was fucked up. He killed innocent people, but he was a good leader. No, he literally was. Like,
this is a stupid conversation, but keep in mind, Sneako thinks what Hitler did to the Jews was good. Even if you don't count the Holocaust, he's still responsible for millions of people dying. But Sneako doesn't even believe in the Holocaust. That's why he talks this way.
I know there's Nazis today, but do you guys realize if hold on, you guys realize if the Holocaust kept going on, you guys realize if like Jews were being genocided and shit, I wouldn't be here right now.
It was mostly a work camp. And it was the first time Jews had to do physical labor, and so they just complained so much and created Israel. Like, it was mostly working. Auschwitz, they had like pools, they had like basketball courts, they were chilling.
Who?
And a lot of the work camps, they had pools and they had yards to go.
It's literally
and they
not
were feeding
true.
them. Like if it was straight up genocide.
Why were they all skinny then?
Why would that's a lot of that's not true.
How do you convince somebody that denies every photo, video, and record? You can't. He lives in delusion. Sneako and Adin did a stream where they shared each other's religions. Sneako took Adin to a mosque and showed him how to pray. They washed before prayer.
Make sure you rinse 3 times.
It's genuinely funny and educational, and Adin acts completely respectful during the whole thing. But when Adin shows Sneako Jewish tradition, he has to constantly remind the audience that he's against this. Dog whistling that the Jews own Hollywood.
Rabbi, who are your top 3 favorite Jews?
Oh man, wow, I've never been asked that question.
Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
They get a lot of Hollywood.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, beyond Hollywood, who do we have?
He's throwing out JQ dog whistles constantly. Yeah, it's really interesting how people don't know about Jewish culture.
It's actually surprising how much people don't know about Jewish culture at all.
100%. It's very interesting, right?
People don't know anything.
If they ever do a blessing or a prayer, Sneako has to stare at the camera disapprovingly.
We're going to say a blessing now on the film. Baruch.
Baruch.
Atah. Adonai.
Adonai.
Eloheinu. Melech. Haolam. Asher. Kedishanu. B'mitzvotav. Mitzivanu. Laniach.
The rabbi calls his friend who's a big fan of Adin, and the friend goes, Sneako, it's so cool you're doing this. You're an honorary Jew for the night, and Sneako gets offended.
So I got a buddy who's a massive friend of yours who wants to say, massive fan of yours who wants to say a quick hello.
What's up, bro? How are ya?
It's in the oven.
Of course, man. You gotta make sure that we, keep this Shabbat going. Last Shabbat of the year.
We're gonna make Sneako an honorary Jew just for the night, okay?
What does that mean?
You can be part of the tribe for a couple hours.
No, he's in.
Sneako thinks they're gonna kidnap and circumcise him.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be a guest at this dinner.
Love you, buddy. All the best. Bye-bye.
What do you leave out? I forgot. You leave out challah?
At the end, off camera, the rabbi tells Sneako that he's anti-Semitic.
The rabbi called me an anti-Semite.
No, he didn't.
He did actually, but.
Wait, well, you are.
I'm not. I love Jews. Look at this. I just beat the allegations. Oh god, my heart is beating so fast right now.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Usually the rabbi put the hat on me to try to get a clip. He knew what he was doing. You knew too.
So you're telling me the rabbi was clip farming you?
Yep.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He's too. No.
Yes, he was. And the other one really wanted to put the tape on me, but I skipped it quickly.
Sneako, you signed up to do a Shabbat stream and you're offended that the rabbi tried to include you in things. That's literally the entire point. It would be like if Adin thought the mosque was trying to farm him for having him wash his hands and showing him how to pray. And if you think I'm being bad faith towards Sneako calling these dog whistles, here's Sneako on stream calling Jews demons.
You're happy sharing a bed with an IDF soldier that's genocided Palestinians. That makes you happy? Well, my wife...
And see, every time I bring it up, he loses control of his body. He goes from laughing to literally being possessed by something. I'm telling you. And this is what I want Brad and Siny to know too. These are not people that you can be friends with. They are literally possessed by demons.
He has Tourette's.
These people know how evil everything that's going on, and they cannot control. This is not the body language of somebody who is a good person.
Wow, Sneako, incredible breakdown. He goes on to demonize Hila for serving the Israeli army. It's mandatory conscription. Everyone has to do it.
The IDF soldier that's genociding Palestinians. You feel good about that?
Well, it's mandatory conscription, so...
It's mandatory. Like, the Nazi that I married, they just were following orders, and when they shot the gas chambers up, do you see how much of a fraud you are now?
She worked a desk job, dude. It's so bad faith. He would never talk this way about any American veteran.
This girl here started saying that American troops deserve PTSD. I don't agree with anything she said.
This characterization of them is just so wrong. Since October 7th, Ethan and Hila have been very critical of the Israeli government.
And the government of Israel is a colossal failure. Netanyahu's a war criminal, a fucking psycho. I voted against him every time I could, and young people don't want him in there either. I mean, the whole country of Israel.
They hate him. They hate the government. They literally have been protesting. They've been out on the streets like the whole last year.
And yet Sneako's still saying the most horrific things about them.
Just following orders. You're applying that logic to your own wife, and you share a bed with that every night. This is who controls the world, chat. Look at him right here.
He's dead serious about it too. He's like, Hila is so evil for participating in mandatory conscription. Meanwhile, he's glorifying the leader of Hamas who was recently killed.
Since the return, Sneako has lauded Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar as inspiring and a martyr, which he is. I'm gonna triple down Times of Israel. Yahya Sinwar was extremely inspiring. He's martyred, inshallah. He goes to the highest rank in heaven. Yahya Sinwar is an absolute hero. I think he's an example of what we should do about putting what we believe in first.
Also, Sneako goes on to deny the Holocaust in the same stream.
This is how many people died. This is why I deserve more. This is why I'm perpetually a victim. This is why I'm a minority. This is why life is hard, because of the Holocaust. And it was 6 million exactly, no more, no less. The worst genocide ever. Woe is me. Nazi Germany and its collaborators systematically murdered some 6 million Jews across German-occupied Europe. Around 2/3 of Europe's Jewish population. Yep. Yep. Remember when they did these same exact Wikipedia facts for COVID and they were wrong?
They weren't wrong. Sneako, for some reason, just thought the vaccine was supposed to cure all diseases for some reason.
The COVID vaccine is safe and effective. The COVID vaccine is safe and effective and will prevent all viruses from you. Take the vaccine. COVID is a disease that was developed and Bill Gates got the patent in 2000.
Sneako's new motto is love speech. He's spreading love. But he's so hateful, he doesn't believe that any rapes happened on October 7th.
I hear this often from
But
Zionists.
it is true in the Quran that you're not supposed to,
I don't believe
shit
them.
on hostages
I think
that.
they're losing a lot of credibility because people keep seeing them lie over and over again. Like Ben Shapiro posting those dead bodies, like they burn dead bodies. That's not true.
They were not fake photos. Sneako and Myron are repeating misinformation that has no backing. Journalists have confirmed it. The crappy program that checks if it's AI or not was wrong. But it's not just that they believe in some fake news. They believe that no woman died on October 7th because they were Muslims. And apparently, unlike every other religion, there's no bad Muslims.
They said that they were raping and killing a bunch of women. They were saying that they were doing all this stuff. And here's the thing, in the Quran, like, you're not supposed to,
treat prisoners poorly. Right. You're not supposed to prisoners of war.
How can you argue with this? He believes that Hamas didn't kill anyone at the music festival on October 7th, even though they wore GoPros and uploaded the footage taking credit for it.
Hamas raped, tortured, maimed, and murdered innocent civilians in the most barbaric ways imaginable.
Where's the evidence?
What they saw, and it's there for those to see if you want to see it. It's a terrible thing. I've seen it.
No, you haven't!
Glided into a music festival full of life and beauty.
Oh my God!
And massacred young people who came for joy and happiness and peace. They were loving young people, wonderful young people.
They just wanted to pop Molly and go to the festival. Really, bro? IDF actually did this.
They don't believe it because Israel's run by Jews and they think all Jews are liars.
Jews are very funny. They're very intelligent. And so I have friends who are Jewish and they're some of my favorite people. They're very extroverted. They're hilarious. But at the same time, they're not super trustworthy. Okay,
Whoa,
like they
come
do. It's just true, and I know it from experience. It's like Andrew said. I said so. They have a talent for deception. And it's the same reason that they're funny, the same reason that they're super smart and good lawyers. It's the same reason they have a talent to spin tales and tell tales.
So do you think they think that they secretly control the United States, and the vague evidence they have is that they're in different industries?
It owns all of our politicians. It owns our banks. It subverted Hollywood. It subverted every aspect of our culture.
The Jews aren't the richest people in the world,
I'm
though.
not even saying the Jews. I'm saying Israel. All out what it is. Stop saying it's a boogeyman like Elon Musk will say the woke mind virus. What the is that?
I'm just saying.
It's Israel. America is controlled by one country, and it's very obvious who it is. And so if you want to go blame the boogeyman, it's a waste of time. We know.
All of these conspiracies are always just questions and implications that never have any factual answer behind them. 9/11 happens and Sneako's like, they recovered a passport after the plane crashed. How is that possible?
If you look at the passports, for example, they were recovered in the plane crash. It was a burning plane in a pile of rubble, and they were able to recover their passports. This story, if you investigate it, none of it makes sense.
Why would that not make sense? Are you an expert in commercial airline crashes? They recovered all sorts of things. Flight attendant pins, the Flight 93 logbook. A lot of recovered items are literally on exhibit. But his mind's made up. He's never going to be convinced. He's brain broken. First it was Gaza, then it was Lebanon. Next, the rest of the world. They own America. They own Europe. They control information, porn, Hollywood, banking, and your favorite celebrity. Israel is just getting started. Resist. Wow, the whole world. John Cena came and do a promotional stunt for his movie without the cabal being to blame.
Ready for him to get 10 more Hollywood movies after this?
Bro, he's already got the movie. He plays a male dancer in it. How is everything a conspiracy?
It's really incredible what gets a round of applause from these people. There's a lot of things you could say about this. Like, very obviously, it's a humiliation ritual. Very obviously, he's going to get 15 Hollywood movies after this. But I think, like, the bigger picture is like, this guy used to be the image of masculinity for a lot of kids. People with Down syndrome love John Cena. Like, white kids love John Cena because he's buff and stuff like that. He does WWE. Great point.
Notice how they targeted someone who kids look up to.
Exactly. They find one of the biggest role models and they get him to do this. And then he's going to influence so many people to do the same. They got another one.
Sneaky, my boy. He was a WWE wrestler. These guys humiliate themselves all the time for entertainment. They once set up a bed in the ring and had fake sex in it.
And I'm proud to be an American that sells out to Israel. And I get naked on a stage for a couple of Hollywood Jews.
I want to link this back to Adin Ross because Sneako comes off as a good but sometimes edgy friend.
So this is Sneako's gift to me. It's a Jew lamp. I want to say thank you, Sneako, for this gift.
It's hilarious until you realize Sneako actually dislikes Jews. Sneako's fine with Adin because Adin's been eating up his propaganda. Adin now loves Nick Fuentes because of Sneako.
All right, God bless, buddy. Take it easy.
Bless.
Bye.
I love, bro, Chad. He's such a W. I don't care, bro.
Bro, Nick literally refers to you as one of the good ones. You're an Uncle Tom to them and you love it.
W. Adin Ross, W. Kick, we love you. You're one of the good Jews.
Groypers, I promise I'm not like the other Jews. Groypers, I'm not like the other Jews.
It's embarrassing. And now Nick Fuentes is verified on Kick because of Adin. Adin's doing a content house with Sneako.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I would love, genuinely love to do the house. To have an addition to have Sneako pull up and be with us full time.
Update, Nick is no longer verified on Kick because the rest of the Kick staff thinks Adin is insane. We're watching Adin fall down the rabbit hole in real time. This is planned by Sneako. They want to radicalize more people.
I'm not expecting to start huge.
just kind of test the waters and see how I can do my content on there.
No, it. We're gonna take over. You mean, oh yeah, bro? No, I'm just gonna come in. No, man, we're gonna come in and we're gonna smash that shit because there's a bunch of retards over there. So we're gonna come in and take the retard market share. We're gonna come in. We're gonna have our high IQ streams. I'll come in there on your desktop streams every now and then, and we're gonna fucking talk about real shit. And niggas be like, damn, I'm tired of watching Demi sucks being over. I'm tired of watching like Neon. I'm fucking watching, Jack Doherty crash cars. I want to watch some real smart shit. And they're gonna fucking tune in, bro.
Well, I mean, that's my motto: is seek truth through funny. So have to do it in a funny, entertaining way. You could still say on Kick, which is going to be good. Like all our collabs that we did on Rumble, we could do the same thing on Kick.
As long as I can say we're good to go, and I could talk about those dreidel spinning fucking losers. Yeah, let's do it.
Sneako bragged about this plan last year.
How do they start? Are you going to get the random TikToker to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis? That's where they're going to start. Or are they going to start with feminism and then they go down the rabbit hole? Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Ryan Dawson. They see me speaking with you.
And it's been working.
Why can't we get along? Why can't we get along? Why can't we get along?
But as it turns out, if you get a bunch of racists and bigots from different backgrounds and religions together, it doesn't take long before they start fighting. The only reason they like each other is because they think Jews run the world. Recently, there was a fake story about Haitian migrants eating cats that went viral. This has no evidence behind it, but like always, the bigoted conspiracy theorists run with it.
The whole internet's ganging up on Sneako now for defending people who ate cats, which is a mistake. He shouldn't have done that. There's no excuse to eat a cat. And they did do it.
These Haitian refugees have come into Ohio and they're eating the wildlife. They're eating the geese, they're eating the ducks, local cats that are hanging out, they're eating the cats.
Now Sneako gets offended because he's part Haitian, so he calls Andrew Tate a Jew, the ultimate insult to these people. And Andrew Tate was immediately offended. He's talking about ending Sneako's career.
I'm not here to end Sneako's career. I mean, I could. I'm that guy. But I'm not here to do that to the guy. The only reason I even replied to him is because he implied I was Jewish, which he knows is a bit far. Let's cut the bullshit, Sneako. Let's cut the bullshit. They ate snacks. They ate the cats. We know they did. Everyone knows. And there's no defense of it. Christian or not, Bible or not, don't eat the fucking cats.
Sneako thinks he's about to be murdered.
If you think you can end my career, you're going to have to kill me. I'm never gonna go anywhere. I'm never stopping. There's nothing on this earth and nothing that I fear other than God.
Country was founded by white supremacists. If they saw you,
But they weren't, this country was not founded by Mexican Italians. It wasn't. It was founded by British guys. Not you.
These people talk about how women shouldn't vote because they're too emotional. Meanwhile, look at them. Sneako then corrects the record, saying the eating cat story is fake.
I was calling out, and what I'm still calling out is the lie. The video of the cat eating that went viral, the video was a lie. Okay? The video was a lie. When the Haitian people are when they're lying about the Haitians, the Christians don't stand up. The Christians don't care. The Christians in America, they'll throw them under their bus because for a lot of people, being white is more important than being Christian.
Holy crap, Sneako is caring about misinformation, is siding with the mainstream media for the first time ever. This is a huge development. But then you remember that he's part Haitian and he's only doing this because he's offended.
Went from eating dogs to eating cats. I'm not eating pets, and I want to clear the air. I want to clear the air right here. I'm going to cover all this. No more meow jokes, no more cat jokes. Stop. So what do you mean hashtag save the cats? It's just stop. Stop. Okay. Deport Sneako. Okay.
Sneako's finally having the realization that white supremacists are bad. Most people can figure that out on their own, but Sneako had to experience it.
if the founding fathers saw you, they would have enslaved you. They'd be like, where is your owner, bro? And all he's talking about is white supremacists, white supremacists. This country is founded by white supremacists.
If there's a fake news article that's being spread by the president that we're both supporting, Trump, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. If they're lying about that publicly, we should call it out because that's fake news. It was an American woman. Don't demonize a random country that's extremely poor because you just don't like black people.
Religion's more important than ethnicity, and you got it all wrong. No, it's not. It's really not.
It really is,
yeah,
actually.
I don't even want to argue it. We don't even have time for this. I'm just saying, no, it's not. So, fuck you. I'm the only one who will actually say it. These other streamers are fucking... religion's more important, but my whole life's about race. Then say it, bro. What the f***? Man up and say it.
Okay, it's not TOS to play a clip. So he's saying whiteness is the real faith. If whiteness is better than religion, then you worship your skin color instead of God.
This is brutal. I did not think anybody was going to... I mean, I knew that a lot of people thought this. I didn't think they would ever admit this.
It's good that he's finally recognizing this at 26 years old. Sneako's solution to reconcile the relationship is to say that they're all equal under God, and that they need to unite to stop women from having rights. Bro, you were so close.
The theme of the stream is let's put God first. Put God first. If you want America to work, if you want to get his real influence out, because I do, put another one if you want to get it out. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of being porn spread everywhere. I'm tired of usury. I'm tired of being a slave to the system, a financial slave. I'm tired of the fake news lies. I'm tired of feminism. These women don't make any sense anymore. The fact that there's even a conversation between Trump and Kamala is because women can vote, because of feminism, because of this wokeness. You know, this is not going to happen in places where they put God first, and they're not going to even allow women to. They laugh when women say they want to vote. I want to vote. Alas, you want to vote? Vote here. Vote here. They give her a little crayon.
Sneako, the way you view women as inferior to men is the same way Zerka and Nick Fuentes view you for the color of your skin.
Black people, the ones you know, these African Americans, their average IQ is about 85. It's about 85. And so they'll shoot you for no reason.
They respond to Sneako by calling him woke and that he hated white people.
In a city built by white people, in a country built by white people, and they shit on white supremacists and white people and defend Haiti.
Who is shitting on white people? You see, and this is why I wanted to call this out, because at no point did I say fuck white people or white people wrong. I said white supremacists.
But if you rewind the stream 8 minutes, he was doing that.
See these, like a lot of them are white in America. These woke whites, they're taking SSRIs, antidepressants, they're taking Xanax, and they're getting drunk all the time. They're self-medicating because they can't even handle the existence of right now. They can't even fathom being alive. They're in therapy all the time. I'm going to talk to my therapist. I can't handle this. I'm autistic, they, them. I'm a they, them. I'm a non-binary. No, you're white and bored.
This all ended with Sneako moving to Kick, sponsored by Adin Ross.
Somebody in this room needs to make an announcement, and I'm going to let them make their announcement now. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I am, you can go to kick.com/Sneako. I'm going to join Kick.
I tried to confirm the deal, but my source never got back to me. And all of these guys immediately said that Sneako sold out to the Jews.
Nick and Elijah will tell you that you should not ever be president because you're a brown Muslim.
But at the end of the day, I do think Nick and Elijah are allies, and I think we're stronger together than we are apart, because the enemy wants us apart. That's exactly what they fucking want.
All right, well, Elijah's publicly saying on Twitter right now that it's sold out to the Jews.
I'm going to talk to him.
Okay, it's hard to find an ally who says that you sold your soul and all this stuff. Like, what do you think? Like, what are we going to talk about? Like, I would never. Would you ever say that about? Would you ever publicly tweet? Like, especially right now. After all, I just got banned on 3 platforms. He said, "Sneako cooked to the Jews for money. Please repent and turn to God." Sneako wants to appease his new Jewish masters for quick money. He thinks he can rebrand his image by submitting to pedophile big tech Zionist demigods. He no longer cares about free speech. Sneako's only in it for the bag. It's grotesque, honestly. That's something that an ally says?
Sneako was then suspended 1 day into his Kick deal, then unbanned, and then permanently rebanned off of Twitch. It's a poetic ending for Sneako, to be eaten alive by the very same hateful conspiracy theory he's been spreading for the last year.
I'm telling you, bro, like, these people will never be allies, bro. An ally doesn't write a hit piece on you when you're at your lowest moment career-wise.
They're supremacists, bro. They hate you.
I love drugs and sketchy pills, and the favorite ones are the ones that kill quickly.
I think it's a good thing that Sneako became Muslim, because his previous religion was just whatever YouTuber he was currently watching.
Ultimately, if you don't have a specific faith, if you don't believe in God, then someone else is going to replace that for you.
Last year, Andrew Tate was Sneako's religion, so I was really supportive of this change, but his reasons for converting are so random to me. He's like, Islam is the only way to stop Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift just endorsed Kamala.
Yeah, I mean, she has worshipers like this to this level. She has like a religion level of followers. Islam prevents this. Islam prevents us, saying women cannot rule. Women are going to be led by their emotions. Women are going to sway people and regret it 4 years later. We saw this with Biden, and we're going to see it again with Kamala.
He's more obsessed with the patriarchy than any feminist I've ever seen. He brings on experts to talk about it.
And they point the finger at Muslims to say, you're oppressing the women. You're oppressing the women. They're covering themselves. They're covered in this. And then you don't realize the women choose to wear niqab if they want to. They choose to put on the hijab if they want.
Well,
Nobody's Well, what's your
because
response?
they do choose. I agree, but ultimately, it's not about them choosing. Like in a patriarchal society, like I don't care. Like traditionally, the patriarch doesn't care if you choose to wear it or not. Like you have to wear it. That's the whole point of patriarchy. It's not equality.
His most recent thing has been advocating for the removal of the age of consent. He starts the stream mid-conversation with Charlie. Charlie claims he didn't even know he was live for most of it.
He eventually called me on Discord. I was under the impression this was just him and I talking. I had no idea this was going to be a debate. I didn't know it was because it was being streamed.
The whole debate is basically Charlie begging Sneako not to be a pedophile.
Why are you so insistent on like the age of consent being like unreasonable? Or at least that's the impression I and most people gather from the way you speak about it.
That's a valid question, and I want to first ask, like, what's your issue with my opinion on the age of consent, age of marriage?
Because you sound like you want to have intercourse with high schoolers.
No, it's not 18 in most of the United States where we both live, right?
Yeah, but that refers to like Romeo and Juliet laws, where if you're like 19 and with a 16-year-old, it's not technically illegal, but you're not a 19-year-old, right? So why would you be arguing for like a 16,
Well,
you know?
first off, I'm not arguing to lower the age of consent. I don't believe in the age of consent.
You what? How young you plan on going, Sneako? Charlie asked him if he would hook up with a 16-year-old in Europe just because it's legal.
Across the world, 18, I want to see, like, why do you think 18 is the age of consent?
Because that right now is the one that makes the most sense. I guess to piggyback off what you're saying, so if you're traveling right now, if you go to Europe, are you going to be comfortable like hooking up with a 16-year-old? Like just because it's legal there, would that make you feel comfortable?
No, I don't hook up anymore. I'm not
saying that you do, but I'm saying if you were, single and looking for someone, would you feel comfortable with it being a 16-year-old if it's in Europe versus US?
I wouldn't do that. Like, I would not have sex before. I think sex, like, out of wedlock altogether is something that we should not encourage anymore.
He's dodging the question. So Charlie asked the next logical question. Would you feel comfortable marrying a 16-year-old?
Would you feel comfortable marrying a 16-year-old? Like, would you meet a 16-year-old with romantic intent if you're in Europe and maybe marry a 16-year-old? Nothing sexual.
I probably wouldn't personally, because I don't think that I'd be on the same mental playing field. I like to have intellectual conversations. I like to be with women that are around my same age.
However, Sneako thinks other people should.
But other people, like, if they're able to get along, then I don't see why that's so much of a problem.
I don't want to, guys, but my friend does. I'm asking for a friend. Wink, wink. Charlie thinks the age of consent should be 18 years old because that's when you graduate high school, get a job, go to college. Sneako thinks it should be when a girl gets her period.
To go back to that question, is 12 too young? Do you think 12 is too young?
I think 12 is too young for me. Yes.
Well, for you, do you think 12 is too young in general? I feel like that should be an easy answer.
12 is too young in general, correct.
The way Sneako says it is just crazy, bro.
What you're saying, your definition of adult, is not even the actual definition. Do you know what the definition of child is? Like, anybody watching this can Google it. You can Google it too. The definition of child is somebody who has not reached puberty yet. That's the definition, but I'm saying that's the actual definition. When somebody reaches maturity, it's based off of biological and physical maturity.
Okay, yeah.
Charlie is stunned. So the moment a girl bleeds, she should be able to get married? According to Sneako, that's an adult to him.
You're insinuating that it sounds creepy and that I sound like a pedophile. What's the definition of pedophile?
It is an adult who is attracted to children.
Yeah, it comes from the Greek word pedo means child and phile means love. So somebody who loves a child.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
An adult who is attracted to a child.
To a child, somebody who has not reached physical maturity.
Yes.
That's the definition of child. Somebody who hasn't reached physical maturity.
Someone who is 25. Is it okay for someone who is in their 20s to marry a 15 or 16-year-old? And let me explain, when you're doing your arguments, it's coming from an adult. I've never heard you say, like, two teenagers should be able to marry. Like, I haven't heard that with these takes. I'm talking about someone in your position in the 20s. Is it okay for you to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
But teenager, even bringing up this term that has nothing to do with child and adult. So there's two phases. You're a child, and then you physically mature.
I don't know why you can't just
your
answer
body
that directly.
I'm saying the difference between a child and adult is when you're physically and when you're biologically, when you're mentally ready to have kids.
Sneako thinks you go through puberty in an instant. Your balls drop and you're instantly ready to get a loan from the bank and start a family. Sneako looks at this situation and he's like, yeah, I'm surrounded by a bunch of adults.
Fuck the woman! Fuck the woman!
What? Wait. We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
Sneako looks ashamed here, but he's actually proud of this stuff.
W kids.
Fuck the woman. Fuck the woman.
Sneako's reminiscing about the 1800s when you could legally get with a 10-year-old.
200 years ago in the 1800s when it was the age of 10, that was fine. Legally back then, they were not a pedophile. Today, legally, they are a pedophile. There's no consistency there. You can't allow the government to determine morality because it changes all the time. Tomorrow, if the US government legalized bestiality, if the government legalized incest, based off your logic, there'd be no reason why that's wrong.
He acts like these laws exist for no reason, like they popped up out of nowhere. You can look up why these laws were put in place. In 1885, popularity to raise the age of consent grew because people were trafficking, prostituting, and selling teenagers. People were purchasing 13-year-olds from their parents. Sneako's arguing for a world of child brides.
My belief comes from something that's consistent. It comes from the Islamic way. It comes from the Islamic way because nothing else makes sense.
I can't imagine being Muslim and letting this guy speak on behalf of my entire religion.
I want to be in a society full of happy married people that are ready to have children, that are God-fearing.
And those happy married people are sometimes, in your world, 14, 15, 16 years old.
Absolutely. By your morality, all of human history, everybody was a pedophile. In the 1800s in America, the age was 10. In the UK, 200 years ago, the age was 7.
Yeah, yep, 100%.
So everybody,
7 and 10-year-olds, yeah.
So everybody in human history was a pedophile up until 10 years ago.
Sneako thinks it was normal to marry 7-year-olds. That's not true. The average age of marriage in the 1800s was 22 for women and 26 for men. I don't know why he's saying that. He then blames the age of consent on the Jews because what else is he gonna do?
The reason you believe that is because in California, you know that in Hollywood, that's where California, one of the rare places it's 18. Do you know that, right? So in movies, they say it's 18. The age of consent is 18. That gets pushed everywhere, right? Hollywood dominates the world. Do you know who controls Hollywood?
Here we go.
This is why you believe that it's most people. Who controls Hollywood?
No, that's not why. It's because people have accepted that.
The reason is because of Hollywood. Hollywood movies say that.
Holy shit.
Do you know who controls Hollywood, Moist Critical?
Oh my God, it has nothing to do with Hollywood, brother.
It is. That's the reason Western Americans, liberalized Americans believe that is because of Hollywood.
Charlie calls out Sneako's relationship with Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes, you just dropped that name. Are you a big supporter of Nick Fuentes?
He's going to be the next president. He's going to be a future president of the United States of America. It's inevitable.
So for someone that is all about love,
yeah,
he is. Do you think he spreads love?
100%.
He doesn't even agree with your existence. He doesn't like race mixing.
Mm-hmm. Not liking race mixing. He doesn't hate me.
He does. He actually does, though.
No, he doesn't. I know he's a good friend of mine. We're friends. He doesn't hate race mixing, or else I would.
He does. He is vocal about hating race mixing.
That's just not true. He doesn't hate it.
It is.
It's not true.
Brother, he has said it multiple times.
No, he hasn't. He doesn't say he hates race. He doesn't encourage it. Show me the clip where he says, I hate race mixing.
Sneako, he says it all the time right in front of your face.
These are all things which I would consider
both degenerate.
wrong.
They're both degenerate.
But
Sneako just hops on board.
Part of why Nick thinks this is because he believes other races have lower IQs.
On average, the races have different IQs. And so on average, Asians have the highest IQ, and on average, blacks have the lowest IQ.
Sneako's takeaway from all of this is that Nick must love him.
I listened to this whole call. I don't think he said anything that makes you want to cancel him. I think he's a good guy. He's saying, hey, I love everybody. Is he really being that exclusionary?
Yo, that's crazy. Sneako, I'm not even gonna lie. If he had his way and he had, first off, you wouldn't even exist because you're the basis of an interracial marriage. So whatever kind of prescriptive ideas that he's got for the world, you are literally an individual that wouldn't exist in it.
It took Nick Fuentes threatening to crusade Sneako for Sneako to realize that Nick didn't view him as a high IQ Asian.
Now it's time to declare Deus Vult, a new crusade against the Muslim apostate Sneako. He's greatly insulted me. He rallied his 10,000 Saracens, his 10,000 Mohammedans on a Twitter space last night to defame and attack me. This is a serious political show where we name the Jew. We don't eat dinner with rabbis. We name them. We don't hang out with rabbis. We don't hang out with Jewish fixers. We expose them, who also apostatized from the true faith and the true church to go ride on camels and swing swords and yell la 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 and wear a turban and say Islam, Islam, Muslim. Get the out of here.
Now this debate goes off the rails. Charlie says that 9-year-olds should be able to go through trans surgery, but post-debate, Charlie would backtrack this.
Is it okay if a 9-year-old goes to a doctor and gets their cock cut off right then and there? And when posed with that question, I replied with yes. And I've talked about this on stream many, many times now, and I'll talk about it again here. I thought he was talking in hyperbole. I thought he was just exaggerating, being over the top, talking about the entire subject of transitioning. I had no idea that any living, breathing human being actually thought that that's how transitioning works.
Sneako, on the other hand, didn't backtrack anything. He was very proud of this debate. He's like, join the love speech community if you too want to get rid of the age of consent.
Buddy, make sure to follow the stream and join the love speech community if you agree with this.
Hey, feds, want to chuck that place out? Zerka, who was dry humped and kissed a 16-year-old on camera this year, then calls Sneako and tells him how good of a job he did.
What'd you think?
That was the most impressive debate you've ever done. Like, what, the fucking pedal game.
He's so proud. Dude, if the only people congratulating you are pedos, that is not a good sign.
This is why I said there's no logical argument that they have, right? It's all just an emotional argument.
Apparently, age of consent laws stemming from child trafficking and abuse is not logical to them. Sneako was shocked to find out that Drama Alert in most of the world did not agree with his take.
Drama Alert pinned a negative post about you. Great.
He's doom scrolling Twitter watching everyone call him a pedo.
Drama Alert, why would you pin the pro Moist one but not the pro Sneako clip? Clear matrix bias.
His own chat started to turn on him.
Why would you pin that clip and not the pro Sneako one? Don't talk about the age of consent ever. See, what I said is Islamically true and is true for the majority of religions ever. Even that clip is like, people are gonna be like, oh, that's true for most religions, true for everything. If it's both healthy, if they're both physically mature and they're ready, that makes sense.
It's like my third eye just opened. It makes so much more sense why he says Cuties is his favorite movie, or defended Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect was in Japan, he'd be fine. The age of consent in Japan is 14. Do we have to call, if you follow American standards, is everybody in Japan a pedophile for living by the law?
Japan raised the age of consent this year because there was so much predation towards young girls. This is not a good defense. It makes these clips of Sneako and Zerka flirting with 14-year-olds come off as even more unhinged.
Actually, we would make a great double date. I like you on the left, and I think Zerka likes the girl on the right.
They're both on the left. What up, girls? I want to kiss you guys.
How old are you?
Oh, that white bitch smiling. Let's go.
Stop. How old are you guys?
Underage. Well, you just yeah.
Like how underage though? Like your birthday's next week type shit?
Like we can't go to Starbucks, white bitch?
And I will be turning 15 in a month.
It even makes me rethink all the time Sneako's gone on stream and has lied about Andrew Tate's court case.
I started the stream by saying free Tate, that they are falsely in prison. It's ridiculous that they've been jailed for this long. They keep trying to find charges. It's not really hardcore evidence of anything.
There's tons of hard evidence, leaked text messages and calls of him telling his bottom bitches to beat the girls unless they work. Maybe you're not listening because I'm killing you if we don't make money. Punch yourself in the mouth until I arrive, because then I'll give you another 10, you incurable sloth. I'll break you when I get there. Vivian was Andrew Tate's first webcam girl. She was 21 at the time of this recording.
Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21. So yeah, that's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company, which I started. And you try and bring a new girl in. You actually have to downplay your relationship with the girl of 6 years.
21 minus 6 is 15. The prosecution cross-referenced her birth certificate with the date of the creation of one of the webcam pages he created for her, proving that he was selling CP.
I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16. I think.
All right, in Romania, 16. Sorry.
Sneako went and spoke at Vlad Obu's OnlyFans management conference. Vlad Obu is a professor for Andrew Tate's pimping course in the War Room. 1 month after this conference, Vlad Obu was charged for being part of a criminal organization around human trafficking. He told his students stories about how he kept a woman in line by taking her keyboard and hitting her in the head with it. For her, a bit of violence worked. This is part of Tate's course, so he talked and potentially took money from a human trafficking related conference. I didn't talk about this last year because there's a chance that Sneako doesn't know. But he's constantly and blatantly lying about the court case, saying that there's no evidence, that they're only going after him because he's a Muslim.
You're gonna tell me that it wasn't strategic that they did this on the first day of Ramadan? Some of the most public figures talking about Islam on a regular basis, they put him in jail from a case from 2012, 2015. on the first day of Ramadan. Why did they have to do that?
Bro, these guys obsess over Epstein.
Yeah, do you get Epstein's Island vibes from this guy? I look at him and I'm like, you ate some babies, bro.
But meanwhile, they've created their own predator ring. Zherka's on stream kissing a minor. There's videos of him and Sneako flirting with minors. They're obviously underage. He's defended the Tates blindly, lying about the evidence. He's seemingly taken trafficking money to speak at a trafficking event, and now he's arguing to remove the age of consent. At this point, they might as well buy their own island.
In this lonely, painful life. This lonely, painful life.
So how did we end up here? Well, Sneako's mind is made of Play-Doh. You can mold it into anything. One minute he doesn't like Andrew Tate.
I gotta see this one. I don't know, man. Like these self-help dudes are just are too full of themselves. Like, why are you yelling about your jet on a podcast?
Then he becomes a disciple.
To continue living the life. So, Sneako, young man, if I disappear, I'm passing the torch to you. Keep spreading the message while it's still relevant.
He starts hearing a little bit about the flat earth theory.
How thick is the earth if it's flat?
Well, we've only dug 8 miles deep, so not even in the crust. So we don't know if there's a mantle. We just know volcanoes can appear.
Okay, so the earth is around 8 miles, like, thick.
No, way deeper.
But beneath that, you're saying is the black sun.
Well, no, it would be the Sheol oil, right? Not dinosaur oil, but the Sheol. They say the black sun's there. Charging the moon and the...
It's an electromagnetic...
Yeah. So check this out. So this is the underworld, right? Hell gives us a deception by giving us the apple. Half the apple is the sun, male. The other half is female.
Next thing you know, he's spreading it.
Have you ever held a tennis ball?
Yeah, I play tennis.
Where's the flat part of the tennis ball? There's none. It's round everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's always curved.
Yeah.
The ball. Every time you hold the ball. That's what I'm saying.
Sneako at one point was even against lowering the age of consent.
Why is pedophilia wrong, Sneako?
Yeah. Because it's not how a relationship, because God says it's wrong.
That's the reason why. Hold on, wait. So Sneako, no, wait. This is so easy. So then Sneako, so if God tells you that you can f kids like he did with Muhammad or whatever, you think that's okay then?
There has to be a justification for everything.
So then what's the justification then for why pedophilia is bad?
Because it's not, kids cannot consent.
There you go. Good job.
But then he has one conversation about it.
We think that it's just because we have a different idea of what it means to be a child, which can be tracked historically. But now, if the situation has changed, we say that the general principle in Islam is, you can do what you kind of want, so long as, I'm not going to say you can do what you want so long as you're harming. You can marry whomever you want to marry, so long as it doesn't cause them harm, physical and psychological. To be intimate with a 14-year-old or 13-year-old who's got huge hips and huge breasts and huge body, I mean, quite frankly, we would say it's not going to have the same effect medically. I mean, no one can make the argument. But in these countries where we live in now, one is legal and one is illegal. So, in other words, you can't marry a 100-year-old woman, but you can marry that girl that's you can't be. You're a pedophile if you go for the girl that's got the hips. And once again,
he looks like he's gonna bust a nut. Sneako then becomes an advocate for it. Sneako needs a handler. I'm convinced if you put a bag on his head, he'd get lost. He'd die in there. Because of the path he chose and being an extremist, his family decided not to invite him to Christmas one year.
Like this is the first Christmas I didn't go home because of my association with Ye. Because Ye was talking about, they called him anti-Semitic, they lied about him. And so my association with the people that you want to have on a panel like Nick Fuentes and Ye that pushed me away, they're like, we don't want you to talk about this.
They're like, son, relax with the conspiracy theories, and he can't.
Wait, so like your mom?
My family, just like my whole family.
Really, your whole family?
Yeah. All vaccinated, all Biden voters, all Ukraine,
Stop it. Can you red pill some of them?
He says his chat is his only family.
I have a good community around me. I've been saying in my chat, that's why my Rumble stream is doing so well. Like my chat's my family. Like that's what I look forward to every single night. It's New Year's Eve and I'm just excited to get on the stream, see all the same like usernames that I see. I talk to them all the time. So that's the family right now. That's who I spend the most time with.
He talks about how he legitimately doesn't have any real friends.
I haven't had a real relationship in a long time. I think it's impossible to do with this. And I'm not trying to victimize myself by saying this, but this is just what it is. There's no time to really delve into social relationships outside of streaming. Like even all my friendships and everything are all streaming relationships.
His worldview is so scuffed, he thinks he doesn't need to date to get married.
I'm not like dating at all, I'm just waiting until I get married. Like I don't...
To have sex?
Yeah.
Okay, but you do need to date before you get married?
Maybe in certain scenarios, yeah.
Okay.
It's because he's gonna buy a child bride. He doesn't even have his conspiracy theorist friends anymore because they turned the conspiracy against him.
Tried with countless other white Christians to do this, and they end up saying things publicly. They end up, finding division. They end up like everything that you've seen. They always end up turning because at the end of the day, we're not the same. He just said, I sold out to the Jews. It's grotesque, and I'm only in it for the bag.
He sold his family, his friends, his soul, all for internet fame, and now he's being consumed by the very conspiracy he spread all over. So who's to blame for Sneako's radicalization? Well, if you ask Sneako, he'd say Hassan.
I was basically playing the character of an incel to try to view women accurately in 2022. And this idiot lasagna watched this video, was like, oh my god, this guy's literally dude like an incel dude with 45,000 people watching. He didn't even understand it because of his low IQ bot brain, doesn't know how to comprehend it even though he's 30 years old, sitting in his room all day watching videos. He didn't get it, and he probably made more money in 10 minutes reacting to my video that I spent a month making. So I'm like, why am I spending all this time investing into trying to change people's mind, trying to make difference on the internet where people are so easily brainwashed and influenced, when I could just react to shit, when I could just yell, because this guy's not funny, this guy's not entertaining, he's low energy, he's stupid and predictable, he says everything that Twitter people say. I can be better than this.
So you're gonna say you're better than them, but you became them.
How did I become them?
You literally said you literally just said that you did what he did.
He sounds like every single 12-year-old, 14-year-old girl on Twitter with a Nicki Minaj or K-pop profile picture.
The way he's talking, it's the right-leaning version of what Hassan does.
He sounds like the hidden replies on Twitter trending. Who can you say that I sound like?
So you're like Andrew Tate.
That's fair.
Because of current political events, extremism is everywhere. You have the extreme right, the extreme left, and the extremely stupid. There's a lot more I have to say about this situation, but first we gotta detour and talk about Hassan. So subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Pax, for helping me with this video. And buy a fume! Shout out to the homies over on Patreon: Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Riveter, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Drain Kobex, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, Ebby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Eddie Bizzle, Tiz McFitz, Christopher H, TV Anthology Reviews, Kankelmore, Sennial Music, Lucas If, ET Automatic, Snoopy Poop Doop Doop, Doggerino Cripperino, Amir MLB, Deep Pocket Jew, Don't Scare Sneako, Rooney Boo, Drew is sharing, and the mega homies, Reynolds Hughes Hellison, IGP, Your Taxi, Latchkey Gothboy, Cyber Katie, Lore Reloaded, Papa Gut, Caden Luland, BA Subway, Hawk and Low, Derek Dew, Kitty Cat, Terax, Fayunder, John Manfredo, Trick, Lucas, Katie Huck, Leviathan, Panic Pun, and JPEG.